Okay, I'm going to do a real quick review of some basics for setting up your dimensioning for this project. Since a lot of you are working on this independently and what's basically like the last week of school. So I'm here under annotate, and then we're going to go to aligned. Now, before I start though, I want to pay attention to this green bar here, and we want to have wall faces because we're doing interior design dimensioning. So we're going from the interior room to the next interior face of the wall. We don't want entire walls. Instead, we want individual references. That's going to make it a little bit easier for those of you, especially who have like the glass wall systems where it's kind of hard to determine what's the edge of the wall versus like the pane of glass. All right, so I'm just going to use this as an example here. So now if we hover over and see how the green kind of lights up there. So I left click there once. I pull all the way over to the right to just get one nice big overall, and then I pull it up. So as I've talked to people in class, we're doing this a little bit differently than we did the first project. And when we do our houses, we are not dimensioning all the chunks of columns. We're not dimensioning all these mullions and the windows because this space already exists. So this is a building shell. The tenant is moving in here. We don't need to tell someone how to build this because it's already built. What you need to tell folks is where you are putting walls now and where you are putting, structural dividers and things like that. So if you look here, I do want to have an overall because again, clients like to know what their overall space is, but then I'm going basically room inside of room to inside of room. Do your best with these columns. We know these are a little funky. Again, we do like to get a little picky in our program and do the thickness of walls when we kind of have them. We don't want to have blank spaces in our runs here. So this is where these two would kind of overlap. You can see this guy, somehow I think I missed that edge of the wall earlier on. So we'll try to do our best to nudge them over. I have to redo that one again. We can delete it out in a second. But yeah, so that's going to be so here again, I would do the thickness of the wall. So let me just kind of demo that again. So we're going to go here, we get right in here, because the whole idea is we don't want blank spaces. Because again, somebody somewhere might need to do takeoffs, meaning measure from our paper plan. And if this gets photocopied a lot, the scale can change. So it's really helpful for anybody in the future to have the actual math here all the way across. Other things you're going to want to do is these kind of openings. These are really important to prove to Anthony and I that you're following like ADA compliance, that we have a nice wide opening for everyone. So then you're going to do that. Same over here. Obviously the width of the corridor, widths here, the lengths here, again, so people understand how and where they're building these walls and segments. All the rooms, so like the length of the room, the width of the room, things like that. I'm not sure what's going on with my panel system. They don't seem to quite connect on this plan. Like I think they do in the view, but watch for little quirky stuff like that. Again, the width of the corridor here, all of these openings. So, you're going to first work yourself around the exterior spaces. So like this guy will just be one big opening here, and then this room here, and then an overall. But remember, you don't have to worry about all the windows, but you are telling us the widths and lengths of all these spaces and then all these openings too that you have. Also, if you have a couple folks have kind of funky curved walls or like decorative columns and things like that, you are going to then want to give us the radius of those things because again, the folks who are coming in to build those walls need that math to understand how they're building it on site. So you're going to use that if you have curved walls. Let me know if you need help with that too. It's annoying, but not super tricky. We also want to make sure too that we're rounding all our numbers to a 1/2 inch. So that's going to be under the Manage tab. And I have a separate video for that, but I'll just kind of review it here too, because I'm on my laptop now, so this probably looks more like what you had. We're going to click on Project Units. And like I said, actually it was the screenshots I did where there's a much bigger icon from my office computer. But here we're going to click on Project Units. And then we have here length. So we're going to click on length. And for a lot of you, the default is just like 1/32 of an inch. You want to pick round to the 1/2 inch. You also want to make sure you're in feet and fractional inches. If for some reason, by mistake, you picked metrics, you can come through here and change all these to, feet and inches math too. So say okay to that. And then from here on out, any dimensions you've already did will be fixed and rounded to a 1/2 inch. and any you then currently do will also be rounded. So that takes care of that for you.